guys, welcome to the chat with Angela. And today I'm on the spot. As you can see, I have no guest speakers, and my AJ,
Producer.
my producer, is gonna fire me with as much questions as she can possibly think of, and I'm gonna do my best to be honest and allow the spirit of the Lord to lead me.
Great.
So shoot me.
All
Let's
right.
go.
So Angela, first question. The team over here at Her Work TV are super proud of you because in July you graduated with a first class master's in pharmacy.
That's right. By God's
Yeah,
grace.
and I mean, I know a lot of people who studied pharmacy, so I know it's not easy. So I just want you to talk us through the process. How did you do it? How did you manage to get a first class, especially for people who are watching this? Because this is not a first class in normal degree. This is a first class in masters, so it's a big deal. So talk us through it for people who are watching this, who might be studying or who are like facing any temptations in their life, any obstacles in their life. How did you overcome?
Wow. First of all, I just like to say this is gonna sound very cliche. If you're not looking for the God answers, then girl, I may not be of any help to you, because it is simply by the Lord's grace that I am here, and that I got a first class. One thing that I will say is, firstly, I knew that God was with me. It's something that you have to get. You have to be convinced in yourself that God is with you. I remember when I first decided to go to uni, I was really struggling to know, what uni to go to and what course to even study. And I remember a friend of mine, my best friend, Fabienne, shout out. I remember her speaking to me, and her parents speaking to me as well, and even my parents, my family speaking to me. And one of the things that stuck out for me was that if I give my all to God, if I hand over my future to God, He will direct my path, and He will lead me to a path that is glorifying to His name. And so I got on my knees. I can't remember how many times I got on my knees, but I remember just crying to God and just asking Him to really direct my path and lead me to this next stage of my life, really. And when I started pharmacy, it wasn't easy. Actually, I started with pharmacology for a year, and then I did pharmacy because I didn't get the grades to do pharmacy. And again, it was very challenging. It took a lot to have faith in God, because I felt like, as a new Christian, it was like, well, if God is directing my path, is He trying to get me to do pharmacology or pharmacy? And again, it took me to go back on my knees. Guys, I cannot tell you, how many nights I spent on my knees praying, especially in my first year of pharmacology. A lot of things didn't make sense in life. I struggled with a lot. And I remember just praying to God every night, just being on my knees and just crying and just asking for Him to be with me. That was my prayer. God, please, I just need You to be with me. God, I need You to be with me. I can't do this by myself. I don't know where I'm going. I don't even know what I desire. Like, I just need You to guide my steps. And that's all I did. And as time went on, a lot of things started to make sense, and it just gave me a confirmation that God is really with me. And when God is with you, you will not fall, you will not fail, because there's no one in the Bible who God has been with and have failed. Even people like Job, when they went through all those diverse temptations, God still came out of it. They still came out of it, and they were still God was still with them. They were still glorified. So I would say, guys, the best way to do whatever it is that you're doing is just take it to God. Don't make any step without God. It's a joke. If you value something and you do not take it to God, you're joking. You don't value it. The Bible says that Joseph prospered because God was with him. In Genesis 39, such a beautiful verse. Joseph prospered because God was with him. And it's a short sentence, and it's something that I apply to my life, that Angela prospers because God is with her. Angela will prosper because God is with me. And another thing to do, something that I did, was don't focus on the things that God has done in the past. Remember that God is a God of yesterday, a God of today, and a God of tomorrow. He's always doing something new. A lot of us remember the things God did. Maybe you were born prematurely and God helped your parents or guided you or healed you, and then you're thinking, yeah, God was with me. No, a lot of us look at the Bible, when we look at God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, he's also your God. Don't look at the things he did in the past. He's always doing something new. And, yes, use the past to remind you and to increase your faith, knowing that God is able to do. But always look forward to something new from him. That's one thing I did. Every year I looked forward to something new. I looked forward to him bringing me to this new level of excellence. And as I had the expectation of him, he definitely fulfilled that. So yeah, that's one thing I would say. And work hard. Just because God is with you doesn't mean, you wake up at whatever time you wake up and you do whatever it is that you want to do. No. When the Bible says God was with Joseph because he prospered, when I say God is with me because I prosper, what I mean is that God guides me. He tells me what time to wake up. And not necessarily he comes to speak into my ear, but when you read the Bible, you will understand that from Proverbs, the Bible doesn't reward a lazy man. So you start to apply those principles to your life and knowing that, okay, if I want to get here, I need to utilize my time. I need to be proactive, and I need to be productive with the time, the things that God has entrusted in my care. And time is something God has entrusted in our care. So being aware of the standards, the things that God expects of me, meant that, I wake up at early times, I work hard, I don't just focus on pharmacy. I always said, if you followed me if you're my friend on Facebook or Instagram, you will know that my hashtag is pharmacy will not kill me. And then my last hashtag was pharmacy did not kill me. Because pharmacy was not my life. I understood that God has entrusted so many other things in my care. And if he's entrusted in my care, then he's equipped me to be able to handle all those things in excellence. Just because you're studying, your financial life should not slack because you're studying, or your spiritual life should not slack because you're studying. I was doing so many other things. God was entrusting a lot more in my care. If you're faithful with little, you'll be faithful with God. God will entrust you with many more things. So be aware that you will have to work hard. Sometimes it will be too hard. Everybody will be sleeping at 10 o'clock and you'll be sleeping at like 2 a.m. just so that you can do the things that God has asked you to do. One of the things that I said was, God, I was president of PENSA, Pentecostal Students and Associates. Pentecost Students and Associates.
Don't even know the name.
PENSA Portsmouth. And I remember just when I decided to take on that role, I remember just being in my room after speaking to a very good friend of mine, and he just gave me so much information. And I just sat in my room and I was like, God, as I'm taking on this role, I need to finish pharmacy with a first class. Not for my glory, but because I want people to be able to see that if we're doing something for you, everything else in our lives should not slack. And I'm thankful that he's done this great thing in my life. But it meant that sometimes when my friends would miss PENSA, for instance, so that they can study for a test we had, I would have to plan weeks in advance to utilize the small 1 hour I had, or the 2 hours I had over here, to make sure that I was able to study at the same level that they were studying at. So it means I have to plan ahead of my life. I have to sometimes wake up at 5 a.m. instead of 7 a.m. so that I can do my quiet time and have enough time to also get ready for a 9 a.m. lecture. So the hard work has to be there. Don't expect it just because God is with you, you can do whatever. The Bible says that we make plans, but God orders our steps. Plans still should be made. You should still make plans and ask that God will direct you even in the plans that you're making. So nothing good comes easy. God will make you work for it because that's his character. A character of a godly person is hardworking. You have to be hardworking. And some of these things, God will just place you in situations where you have to learn to be as wise as the ants, and as wise as the serpent as well. So yeah, hopefully I haven't spoken too long.
You have answered the question
Oh,
very
great.
well.